Hi everyone, it's Holly Marie King, and I am here to share Chapter 7, An Unexpected Surprise in Not a Dream, the final draft. So, how about we get started? Hi everyone, it's Holly Marie King, and I am here to share Not a Dream, Chapter 7, An Unexpected Surprise. So let's dive in and see what happens. Chapter 7, An Unexpected Surprise. Helen found herself exhausted after walking for what seemed like hours. She sat down underneath a tree to catch her breath. I have to be almost out of this forest, she sighed, and laid her chin on her knees. The task that was set before her was hopeless, but nonetheless, she believed that when she got back up, she would go further and find her way out of this mess she was in. If you had gone with my suggestion, you would be out by now, Allison nodded to herself. You had a hunch. That doesn't mean you were right, Helen snapped. She sighed and rubbed her temples. There was no good in her losing her energy just because things weren't going her way. I am still going to go in the direction I chose. Nothing you say will change my mind. If you insist, she sat down on one of the tree branches. Just let me know when you plan on moving again. Helen sighed. She stood, feeling the aching muscles in her legs. She realized resting had been a bad idea. Here we go. She continued walking until the sun went behind the trees. I'm impressed, Allison said, stepping down off the trees to sit next to the girl. You walked the entire day and did not make it out of the forest. Just leave me alone, Helen said tiredly. She was sitting down against the tree with her eyes closed lightly. Why are you so unhappy? We had a very eventful day full of nothingness. Allison plopped down next to Helen. That sounds great for you, Helen said, shaking her head. What happens when I fall asleep? I have control of your body, Allison said simply before she looked over at Helen. Why, does that bother you? Well, yeah, I have no idea what you'll do in my body. She looked back at Allison. You have an idea. Allison looked up to the west. Ugh, so all my walking is going to be for nothing? No, not nothing. You actually got us closer to where we need to be, latitude-wise, but longitude, we're getting farther and farther away. Thank you for making me feel so much better. Helen rolled her head away. She then looked back at Allison. What will happen if we do go to fulfill this mission or whatever it is? I don't know. If we do go and try to break the curse, I might be human again, but I might be destroyed too. So I have mixed feelings about it, but what am I losing by doing this? There's no way I can trust you. But it looks like I have no choice since I can barely keep my eyes open, Helen yawned. I'll see you when I wake up. She closed her eyes and fell asleep instantly. Helen looked around, knowing that she was in a dream. The world around her was distorted. With some sort of golden grass, a snake poked its head out of the grass and looked directly at her. Its tongue flicked out of its mouth towards her. It was then she realized she was laying down in some sort of a field. The snake moved fast as lightning towards her. Helen tried to get up to get away from the creature, but she couldn't move. For some strange reason, it was coming for her, and somehow she knew it was going to kill her. Helen gasped as she woke, feeling an itching sensation all about her. She looked down to realize she was in a cart of hay, with the cart bouncing up and down along the road. As she had thrashed about in her sleep, she had covered herself in the hay. Allison sat on the edge of the cart, her body emitting the shimmering glow that it always did. She stared out at the countryside with a solemn look on her face. What's wrong? Nothing. I was just thinking, Allison sighed, and she looked back at Helen. You seem to be having an interesting dream. It's a little late to get cold feet about taking us this far, Helen said to her. She smiled at Allison. The spirit was a strange creature to her, but there was something very alluring about her, too. Helen didn't feel much like discussing her dream. Allison looked away again. I was tired of walking, so I took a ride on this hay cart. My leg, thank you, Helen said to her. Are we almost there? I see a village up ahead. Up ahead? Ugh. Allison craned her head. We should get off here. The two jumped out of the slow-moving car with ease. Why did we need to do that? The people in the village would kill you if they knew you were possessed, Allison explained as she moved to go inside Helen's head. You will die sooner or later, the voice hissed quietly to her. Wait, what do I look for in there? Helen stepped back as if that would work. Let's see. Allison thought for a moment, suspended in the air. It's not exactly an easy task to find everyone. Everyone? Well, you didn't think that it was going to be easy, did you? How many people? 10, not including you. 10? Are you serious? Helen visibly sagged with the idea of having to work that hard finding so many people, especially since she would just be sent back to that horrible woman that was her mother. And how far apart are these people? Allison shrugged. I have no idea. Why don't you know? I only know where the first one is. If I knew everything, there would be no need for the other 10 other people. Allison chuckled. But I do have the first clue. Do you want to hear it? That would be nice, Helen said tiredly. It is said that the first person is a sword builder. And that helps me how? It narrows down the search for the town and makes it easier for me to sense if one of them has a spirit inside of them. Okay, but what if he's not in this village? Don't question me, Allison grumbled. Just stay calm and start moving. We can't stay here all day. She disappeared inside Helen's head at last. I can do whatever I want to in my own body. Helen swallowed, not sure if she was going to die or not when she was inside the village. Here we go. She didn't have long to walk when she entered the village. The smithy was at the entrance of the village, just a little off to the right. How do I know which one he is? She murmured to herself. I'll know, Allison said very strongly inside Helen's head. She jumped in surprise from the noise. Sorry. Hush, someone will hear you, Helen whispered urgently. You have nothing to worry about. You alone can hear me. Helen could almost see Allison nodding her head. Okay, so how will you know which one it is? I can sense other spirits. We can't hide from one another. Helen stepped towards the smithy, thinking about which one she wanted to try out first. She tilted her head towards one of the men to see if Allison could sense the spirit that way. The man just stared at her strangely. Suddenly there was a crash and a spark of fire as one of the smiths dropped his tools. Damn it, Brooke, the man growled as the spirit appeared out of thin air. Why do you always have to ruin everything? Well, if you didn't always snore when I'm trying to get some rest, I wouldn't be so cranky in the morning, the spirit shouted back. Helen looked at the smithy with recognition in her eyes. The young man looked so familiar. But she couldn't quite place where she had seen him before. I know where she's seen him before, but I won't tell you because that would spoil it. Helen didn't realize she had been holding her breath until a gentle nudge from Allison in her brain made her breathe again. The villagers were staring at the two and edging closer. What do we do? Helen asked urgently. They won't follow if we spirits distract them for just a moment. Allison had appeared next to Helen without warning. Helen jumped for the second time in the course of 20 minutes. I really need to find a way out of this mess, she murmured, holding her head. She then looked around at the angry faces of the townspeople. They looked as though they were possessed. They're possessed as well, but they're actually posed to attack. But made to move. Helen waved one of her hands in front of a man's face and found he was unmoving. Go now while we still have the fields up, Allison told her. She was staring intently into Brooke's eyes, and a blue film of light steeped out between them. Come on, Helen grabbed the man's wrist, pulling him away. They got 20 or so feet away when the spirits came shooting back to them. Hurry, the others will be after us in no time, Allison urged. Helen let go of the man's wrist and sprinted as fast as she could away from the village. They ran until they couldn't run anymore. Oh, I just want to keep reading. I know, it's my own writing, but I'm actually really enjoying reading this. It's really good. I hope everyone else is enjoying it too. And anyway, so it's the end of chapter 7. If you're interested in the book itself, I will have in the description below, as I always do, where you can buy it if you're interested. I don't make profit, I promise. And hopefully I will see you guys next time. Bye!